Excuse me, we're getting new regional pricing? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. There's a lot to take in with this article, so we are going to go through this because this is crazy. And yes, I know this is going to talk about Genesis, but there is a lot of updates on future pricing here as well. So Genesis roadmap, what's coming next? So let's talk about the road ahead for the Yu-Gi-Oh! TCG Genesis and prepare for some surprises. Since the September announcement, we've been slowly rolling out and building Genesis piece by piece, starting with official tournament store OTS events and moving up the Genesis Invitational held at the Yu-Gi-Oh! Championship Series YCS events. Here's what comes next. So February 2026, which is going to be the Genesis Proto YCS at the 300th in Richmond. So the Genesis Proto YCS will be held at the 300th YCS in Richmond, and an intermediate step between Genesis Invitationals and full-fledged Genesis YCS events coming after. The Proto YCS will have no preliminary top or 8 player flights and will instead have one big tournament held over 2 days, just like a YCS. Pricing will still be like the Invitationals, featuring retired YCS prize cards from yesteryear. As a mix of YCS tournament structures but invitational pricing, this is a hybrid traditional or transitional event. So this is going to be the last of these little stepping stones, and we're going to test the waters, but we've got bigger things to come. So starting May 2026 at YCS Columbus. So this is going to be Genesis and advanced format. We've been talking to a lot of duelists over the last few months, and only one thing that keeps coming up is that some folks are nervous about when a YCS does come to town will be the type of event that they prefer. Some people are excited about Genesis and tell us when a YCS comes to my area, I hope it's a Genesis YCS, but I'd rather play in that. And others say when a YCS comes to my area, I hope it's advanced format because I'd rather play in that. So a wise person once said, why don't we do both? Thank you, Konami. You're learning. So to answer the question, are we going to do Genesis YCSs going forward? What if you can pick? You can play whatever format you want. So moving forward, all YCS events in North America, starting in May, and for Latin America, starting in October, will follow a big top philosophy and have both events under one roof. And whether you play advanced format or Genesis, our motto is a YCS is a YCS. So both events will have the same pricing, including special prize cards. Currently, another verse, Stratios. Starting with YCS Columbus, October for Latin America. Genesis events will switch from the invitational style pricing to standard YCS pricing. That is really, really nice, actually. I'm very glad that they are actually going to do this. Because as much as you might, say I would, it would be better to focus on one YCS. As much as Genesis format is kind of flailing in the water a little bit, I think having the competitive side of the game, you can look at whichever path that you want to go down. Or maybe you just look at advanced format this week and you're like, oh, this is terrible. I don't want to play this. I'd rather go play Genesis. This does give you options to diversify depending on how the formats are going to shift. So I do like that. July 26th, win a trip to Jump Festa in Japan at the North American, Central America, and South American World Championship qualifiers, WCQs, will hold an open Genesis tournament, same structure as a YCS, and the grand prizing for the top 2 will be a trip to Japan that December to attend Jump Festa, the colossal yearly manga and anime celebration. Now, this is really, really nice, actually. I'm glad to see that they are pushing something like that. Now, August 2026, big top regional and OTS championships. After the current tournament year wraps up, after the WCQ's regional qualifiers start using the same big top model as YCS events, where you can come to a Yu-Gi-Oh! Regional and there will be an advanced format regional and a Genesis regional side by side. They'll have the same pricing, give invites to the matching World Championship qualifier event for your region. And the same will be true for OTS championship events, which will also be both advanced and Genesis format. Play in whichever you want. Genesis events will feed into the Genesis championships held at the WCQs, which will be invitational only from these events. And the grand prizing at the top 2 Genesis events will be the trip to Jump Festa. That is interesting. So how these OTS championships that can barely fire, or get like 20 people, how are their Genesis events going to look? Because I'm a little bit intrigued with that side-by-side little push that they're trying here. So winners packs, this is where things get very interesting. Starting later this year, winners at events from the OTS level to the regional level will start receiving special winner packs as prizes. Winner packs contain embossed foil cards that you saw in Battles of Legend, Monster Mayhem, and the Limited World Pack Championship 2025. Winner pack cards will also be embossed to match the type of event at which you won them. The ones from in-store tournaments, including OTS championships, have the OTS logo embossed in the text box, and the ones from the regional tournaments will have a regional logo embossed on them. There's also a thank you pack for the judges, where the cards will have an embossed judge logo. All 3 packs will have the same card pool, with just the logos being different, so you can play in an in-store event at a regional or help judging and still work on building your embossed card set no matter what you're doing. Winners packs aren't just Genesis, by the way. Advanced format events will have them too. We've got a lot of stuff in store which we can finally share, and we hope that you will be excited when it's time to duel. This is fantastic. We have needed, I'm glad that they're using the embossed technology here to actually spicing things up a little bit with some of these cards, because this is what we've needed. We've needed to see some sort of change to the tournament prizing structure. And I think having this whole concept here where we can actually have nicer cards coming into the spotlight. And also, they've needed to do something for the judge program for a very, very long time. The fact that the judge program and like Pokemon has had, stamped cards for their judges, the fact that it took Yu-Gi-Oh! This long to, fundamentally come to the realization, oh, hey, we need to be catching up into the year 2025 or into 2026 at this point, I think is a really, really nice thing. We've needed that realization to catch up. So this means, so does this mean that OTS packs, how are we going to, they're calling them winners packs. So how are winners packs and OTS packs? Are we getting rid of OTS packs? Are we, I guess that's an interesting question kind of going forward. Are these going to be in addition to OTS packs? I'm not really sure. And also it's going to be interesting to, see the value of these cards coming across the table, because these are going to be their own unique rarities. Are we going to have ultimate rares stamped with the stamped on them? There's a lot of questions I'm very curious about. I'm also wanting to know, how are we going to shift these prizes around? Because at this point in time, I hate to say it, but the current price structure for events is not exactly the greatest. The current YCS prize card is a pile of lump. All right, it's not good. It would be really cool to see a jump to some serialized cards here and actually see a little bit of a splash in a different direction for that. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious, but I do think the Genesis thing, no matter if it's going to make our numbers divide and go smaller, the fact that Yu-Gi-Oh! Is providing 2 formats hypothetically should draw more players to come to these events, and that might not be a bad thing, people. That might be the level of excitement that we kind of need to get people a little bit more interested in things kind of going forward here. But I guess only time will really tell. So what do you guys think? Please leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back here later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.